Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined here by Kristin Mason once again she's from Reining Hope Counseling Services. She's from Morgan, Vermont, and there's a lot to the work that she does, helping people with disabilities, or I call them abilities, right? With special needs, with regular things. I mean, these are things that her horses and she is, trained in helping, and the healing power of horses that go hand in hand with us humans on so many different levels, from addictions, from so much. She's here to join us today to talk about how she's been helping so many. Hi.
Hey, Jill. Good to see you again.
You too, sweetheart. For those that don't know a little bit about Reining Hope and what you do, would you mind just giving us a little overview before we start?
Yes, well, and I'm a little flushed and a little blown because the wind's going like crazy up here on the hill, but it looks like spring. So I do on-site equine-assisted psychotherapy. I also am bringing back to life my therapeutic riding program for younger kids that need it for physical reasons. So maybe kids with cerebral palsy that need the movement of the horse. And also I'm doing a rehab program on a small scale, like one at a time, for any horses that need some additional rehabilitation. Maybe the owners aren't able to spend a lot of time with them. So I will be available on a short term, so it might be 4, 6, 8 weeks or whatever, that they will come here. And also, I'm going to open it up to doing lessons for drive-ins, which means people will bring their horses here to have lessons. So I do jumping and beginner lessons and pretty much everything. So, but the equine-assisted psychotherapy is a big part of this. I just had 2 kiddos here this morning. And to give you kind of an example of what we do, we actually went out in the paddocks with the horses with our shedding blades because everybody's shedding. It's, it's a beautiful day and a little muddy out there and a little icy, just where the hay insulates the ice, so it kind of takes a while to go away. But the horses were awesome, and they appreciate being able to have a little extra help with the shedding. So we talk and we groom and we shed, and it was really nice. So well, Thursdays lately have been terrible weather, so up here anyway. So the last few weeks we haven't been able to get together. So it was great to see these 2 young kids here, and it was fun.
Oh, well, thank you. Great to hear that. And there's a lot that you offer, the lot that you and your horses can help with. What else did you want to kind of dive into for us?
I think it was Brian that had called in last time, and I feel like maybe he didn't get enough information that he really wanted for a friend that he was calling in for the addictions. So he had asked a question. I'm pretty sure it's Brian. Apologies if that's not your name, but I think he was asking about, for another person, probably a friend or a relative, that how do horses help with addiction? And so, I mean, it's definitely a responsibility thing, but also with the thing with horses, and it doesn't matter really if it's addictions or if it's a mental health issue or challenge, or if it's just maybe somebody needing to build their confidence and self-esteem. What horses do is, one, they can read you. So they're prey animals. So if they feel threatened by you, then they won't come to you, right? So it's about self-regulation. So if you're nervous, they'll know, and they'll be like, I'm not so sure, like, if this person is safe. So it teaches you how to, I facilitate helping you learn how to breathe and be present in the moment and be that person that the horse wants to come up to, right? So, which translates into humans, right? Like, if you think of addiction, we'll just use substance use for an example because that's prevalent. It's not anybody's fault that they become addicted to drugs and alcohol. It's chemical. right? It's in your body.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, some people can handle it and some people can't. So it's not really a disease unless you look at disease as dis-ease, but
Mhm.
it's your brain starts craving things, right? Or if it's a food addiction or gambling or whatever, for whatever reason, those things that you're craving are relaying endorphins in your brain and causing you to be calm or happy or whatever the case may be. So with addiction, it's very hard to wean yourself off. Some people can cut cold turkey. Some people need to wean themselves off. Some people may never fully get over it, but they will reduce their use, right? Or reduce, their gambling or reduce whatever. So horses help you regulate. So if you're having that craving, then you have to go within yourself, learn some other strategies that are more positive, like, okay, can I read a book? Can I listen to music? Can I sit here and breathe? Can I meditate, do yoga, ride a horse, whatever? And the horses, when you get the skill mastered of regulating yourself, that's when, if you have these cravings, you can tap into that, right? So the horse allows you non-judgmentally to practice that. Horses also show you boundaries. So if they get too far in your space and you're afraid of them, you need to ask them to back off, just like they would do in a herd, right?
Mhm.
So if a herd was in the wild or whatever, what would happen so there's a mare, there's usually a lead mare and a beta mare, and then others within the herd. And then there's a stallion who's the boss man. But it's really the typically the beta mare is the one that disciplines and the alpha mare is the one that alerts for danger. So you have to almost be the alpha mare and say, okay, enough is enough. And I might be mixing those up, actually. It's been a while. But there are always those dynamics within a herd. And when you're working with horses, you want to be part of their herd, but you have to ask them if it's okay with your body language, with being with them. I wouldn't jump on a horse and just ride them, not knowing them from the ground, right? So with horses in the wild, so the young horses, if they are naughty, they're pushed out to the boundaries of the herd, which means that it's a not safe space. It's almost like their timeout, and the mares will invite them back in when they have quote unquote learn their lesson, and then they'll come back into a safe space. So they learn, like, they want to be with their herd because it's a safe space. So people want to be with people that they know are going to support them, care for them, be there for them through anything, right? And these are kind of the things that horses teach us. So hopefully that's a little bit better explanation for Brian, who may or may not be listening,
Well,
but
it was great. And last week, but thank you. I love the follow up on that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And as spring is coming here very soon, right? It feels like it, at
Mhm.
least a little bit
Today
more,
is
man.
the first day.
Is it officially?
Officially,
I
today
didn't
is
realize
the
that. I thought it
first
was like
day of
tomorrow.
spring.
No? Oh, okay.
Nope,
I'm lost.
today.
All
I
right. Well,
looked it up 3 times because, the kids like to, when I work with them, sometimes they'll be talking about weather and what the horses do in the weather and everything. And I'm like, well, I don't know, Google it.
it's so true. What did we do before? Do you remember the encyclopedias? I used to have them. Remember the guy would come
Yes.
door to door, knock on the door, and sell them to us, and everyone had to have encyclopedias, right?
Yeah. Or Farmer's Almanac,
Yeah.
they make a kids one version now too. It's kind of fun, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, what would we do without that? Totally sidetracked as usual, but I love it. Um, Talking about spring, talking about the horses, talking about anything happening new for you. Spring is here. What's going on with the horses, your clients? What normally happens in spring for everyone? Anything that in your world that would be informative to us?
I mean, one, it gets busier. Two, we have to wait for mud season. The horses, God bless them, are a muddy mess so between the hair and the mud, they have to wait to dry. And I feel bad because like they look like a wreck. I mean, if it wasn't so windy today, I was going to try to take you guys outside, but it's so windy, I don't think we'd be able to hear each other. But they like to roll in the mud because, of course, they like to itch themselves and get themselves, get their own hair off, which the birds love around here. They make their nests. We find nests with horsehair in it. But so right now it will start getting much busier. I used to do a program with the Encore, the after school program, and I hadn't done it in a while, but it's like a 2 to 3 hour program where the kids for after school come and see me, and we do all kinds of horsey stuff. Some of it's ground stuff, some of it's, helping feed them, some of it's actually riding and supporting each other. So as far as the group thing, that happens a lot more when the weather's better. And it can be group counseling too. I've done family counseling in the springtime. It's just people are more likely to be here and participating when the weather's better and they can get here, right? When we had, I don't know, 3 feet of snow, it was a little more difficult traveling here. So sometimes in the wintertime, it's more teletherapy than in person, but when the summer months start coming like now, it starts picking up pretty well.
Got it. There, Anthony from Milwaukee wrote in, are there any safety measures in place for animals and clients? Is there?
Great question, because safety is always first. I'm a PATH International certified advanced instructor and an equine specialist in mental health and learning for years now. I think since 2001. Yeah, 2001. So many years now. And safety always comes first. So when I was talking about the girls out in the paddocks with me, I have to read them and what their safety is and which paddocks we need to be in. So my first kiddo this morning has some horse experience. She has her own horses. So we went into a paddock that the three might be a little bit more challenging, but I stay with them. And if I have to like read the horses constantly. So if I see anything going on, I will say like, and I know the personalities of my horses too. I know what they will and will not tolerate. Again, still that could change in any moment. So it's my responsibility, but I'm there. And so if I see another horse coming down and it may be one of the more dominant horses in the group, I ask my client to step back with me, let the horses interact whatever way they need to. And when they settle back down, then we can approach them again. So yeah, that is a really, really good question because honestly, safety is number one. And everybody has to sign a release, obviously, for insurance purposes. And working with animals, there's always a risk. So, Vermont, every state is different as far as their, I don't know, policies, procedures, whatever, their regulations for working with different kinds of animals. So I do have, signs up, but safety is number one. And if I feel like a horse or a person's not in a good space to be working with a certain horse, then we might go and do something else or work with a different horse. So that's a great question, actually.
Good. Thank you, Anthony. And, for the work that you're doing, and, this is, now you're full-time living on this farm. You're taking care of these animals, but you also have another full-time job. How do you manage both? I mean, like, that's got to be a lot. I mean, let alone to work, take care of horses, but then to work, take care of horses, and do all the work with your clients this way.
Well, and I do have dedicated days. And so I work full-time at a human services agency locally. And so I have certain days that I'm there and certain days I'm here. But before I even go to work, so when I got the job, I was actually interning there first. You have to let people know, like, okay, I've got horses. I don't have kids, but I have horses. So if something comes up, you need to know, like, I need to take care of certain things and I will make every effort to contact you so that you can do whatever you need to do. And thankfully, the agency is phenomenal and really supports what I do. A lot of people do have their own animals, so they get it. But being forthright about it is definitely, and I do like 4 10-hour days there. And so I have Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays. I'm trying to stick to just like family time, but sometimes I will see people on Sunday mornings as well if they're available. But so it is a balancing act. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of figured out like what works, what doesn't work, what I can do without stressing myself out. But I will say that having the two different jobs, because I'm here and I'm outside a lot when I'm here, when I'm in the office, we don't have the space to be outside right now. And so it for me balances me. And I honestly, doing counseling and stuff and working with horses and people, I don't know if I'm just like lying to myself or whatever, but I don't get stressed out about my jobs. I really don't, because
You
I
must have, it's the
love what
calming
I do.
way. But yeah, or maybe it's from living with horses that you're super calm. Well, you don't have any anxiety, any like, that's amazing. Wow.
I mean, when we don't have any sunshine and everything, I get a little depressed, but so I'm sure everybody in the Northeast Kingdom up here in Vermont have seasonal affective disorder, but yeah, and it's not that I don't get stressed, but I don't get stressed out about what I do for work. I don't know. I've always had multiple things going on, and I've learned to figure out what my limits are, um, which is what people need to do, right? I mean, I have people coming to me kind of stressed out about stuff, and sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith too. I'm not saying that things have been all roses at all. I mean, it's been a lot of hard work and everything, and it will be until the day I die, probably. But I just doing what you love and doing what really makes your heart sing is really important.
Got it.
And I do not get paid a lot at all what I do, you know? So it's really the other part of it is what keeps me happy and sane, I guess.
Well, we all have, our passions, and I know these horses you've been involved with so long. Let me ask you this though. Do you have any other hobbies, or this is like your main hobby? I mean, what else do you do that brings you joy?
Love being outside. So I do ride my horses. Obviously, I go on trail rides, jump on bareback or whatever. I bring my dogs for a walk. Um, I love in the summertime having bonfires at night when the daylight hours are longer. So we have neighbors come over and we just hang out. And this summer, I'm so excited because my brother's actually going to be visiting with his family. And we haven't seen them up here, all of them all together, for quite some time. So I'm really excited about that. So we don't really travel much. I mean, it's a big responsibility. If I really wanted to go somewhere, which I think my brother wants me to visit Virginia, like before I'm 92,
Oh,
but
have you never been down there yet, or?
oh yeah, I've been down there, but it's been several years, so I think I might take a long weekend, maybe in the fall when after they've been here, because I don't have really any time and summer is busy. But yeah, so I mean, I I like to read. I haven't read really in a long time, but I just like being outside. I
Yeah.
mean, I am not a person that can be cooped up in an office for like, you know, I get antsy pantsy at work so I try to, when the daylight hours get longer, I sit and watch the sunsets. I have got probably 100,000 pictures of sunsets from here. So,
Awesome. Oh,
yeah,
good. Well, thank you for sharing that. And also, if you are just tuning in, Kristen, where are you located specifically?
Oregon, Vermont.
Hmm.
So it's like the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, just a stone's throw from Canada. And yeah,
And the work that you're doing obviously is mostly in person, but you do some virtual work as well with current clients, right? Or,
yes. And I'm kind of weaning off that a little bit. Like, because especially more in the wintertime again, versus the summertime, because when I get out of work at the agency, I like to come and walk the dogs at night. And, it doesn't matter if I am back in the house at 9 o'clock at night, but I just like to. So it's more of a winter thing. I do have some folks that are on Thursday nights. So in the evenings is usually the time, or early mornings before I get going with the horses. So.
Oh. Well, in your experience from all the work that you've been doing and helping people so much, what would you say is the greater, I guess the impact, I should say, from using animal assisted like therapies like yourself? What do you see as the biggest impact?
Well, I think it takes, so especially with kids and probably with some adults as well, it's they can process things with the animal that's going to give them instantaneous feedback with non-judgmental, right? Not that I'm a judge, I don't judge obviously as a counselor, but it offers that opportunity where they don't just have to sit and face me and talk about their life or anything. They can actually be doing something. And with kids, I've noticed, even at the agency, like we'll be playing Uno and talking about stuff. They're more apt to open up if they don't actually have to like stare at you the whole entire time. You know what I mean? And they're more apt to engage when, especially, I do have some clients that just would care not to work with the animals, any of them, but most of the people that come here, I would say 98% do want to interact with the animals. But I think that it takes that, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like it takes that having to open up to one more person, you know, and let them open up to the horse, right? And engage in something that's living and breathing. And one of the little girls today, for example, we were, like I said, out in the paddocks, and we stopped talking for a minute, and she just put her head on my horse's head and started breathing into his nose. And the horse just like totally relaxed. It was so amazing. I just shut my mouth and like stood there and watched it all. And her whole demeanor just relaxed.
Wow.
And she's been with me for a while. So just to have those, just, I don't want to really call it impulsive, but just like authentic moments happen for these kids and adults too.
Yeah.
Kids are a little bit better about it because they have no preconceived ideas about anything, right? I mean, they're young. Adults kind of have a lot of stuff in the way, but they just bonded. And the horse just like stood there and he knew you can see the connection.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. And we still have just 3 more minutes left, Kristen. What else did you want to make sure we cover for today?
I think, well, going to the authentic and so I guess, and coming into spring, I think I was thinking about this. It's like if we can all, because the way of the world now, if we can all just take a moment and look around us and see the beauty, even in like the mud, because we know it's coming, I think that it's really important for all of us, including me, to kind of sit and reflect and just see what's around us, right? I mean, like I know people in New York City, like it's constant go, 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 go. And
So much
there's,
hustle and
so
bustle.
many
Yeah.
faces and so many, things going on and everything. But you're walking to your work or something. And if you take a minute to like see things through what I call soft eyes versus hard eyes. So soft eyes are you're looking at something, but you can see everything else around you. And when we work with horses, we need to have, like, going back to the safety thing, we need to have soft eyes because I can't stare at that horse and not be aware of what's going on around me. Whereas hard eyes are just staring at one thing and be hyper focused on one thing, right? if you try it at home, if you stare at one thing, your body tenses, like literally stare at one thing. And use hard eyes. If you use soft eyes and you kind of look at that thing, but you can see like my water cup is there and my, curtains are up there and you're down there, you actually can relax. And that is a simple, simple strategy for just being present and being grounded. And that's the way we have to work with our horses. I think one of my instructors ages ago, it might have even been Sally Swift. She did dressage and everything. But that was one of the things we learned when we were riding, because if you are hyper focused on one thing, your body tenses, your horse gets upset, and you're on the ground. But if you use soft eyes and see what's around you, you're going to soften, you're going to be more relaxed, and you'll be present and see more things.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kristin. Always a pleasure having you here. How can we reach out to you? Would you mind sharing the website?
You can see me at www.reininghopecounsellingservices.com, or you can call me at 802-895-9166.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure seeing you, and enjoy the rest of your day. And happy spring. Thanks for teaching me something new today. I haven't said
happy
that.
Spring.
My son's going to come home with little drawings about it, I'm sure, and I'd be like, oh, I would have found that anyway. But thanks to you, I know. Thank you, Kristin. Have a great day, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Bye. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.